It is time now for Better Money, and we often hear that the debt in this country is so out of control. So how does someone prepare for retirement while they're still trying to pay off their debt? Joel Johnson is a certified financial planner and managing partner with Johnson Brunetti, and he's here with some suggestions, which I think is so important because people feel really overwhelmed by their debt, but we're such a culture where it's so easy to go into debt, and sometimes it's even, oh, it's recommended, it's better to finance this than pay outright. So, you know, what do you do if you have a decent amount of debt that you need to work
and that's
through?
what we want to talk about, because people get behind the 8 ball here. They end up in this vicious cycle of maybe they start getting into debt in their 30s, they have credit card balances and so on, and they never catch up. They never turn that corner and catch up. And then you're 55, getting ready to retirement, and you're not going to make it unless you pay off that debt. So it's so important to not only get the debt under control, figure out a way to pay that debt off, but also keep yourself out of trouble. And it's hard sometimes, Kara, because when you're 55, your kids are in your 30s or 20, you know, their 20s, and it's tempting to help them out.
Yeah, or they're thinking, hey, I've got some free income here because my kids are out of college. Okay, so first of all, the average, according to a study, was about $108,000 that you have in debt from 55 to 64 years old. So we want to prioritize it. Number one, prioritize what debt to pay off first. How do you do that?
Well, it's important that people, let's say you have 4 credit cards that need to be paid off. My belief is you pay off one at a time because you want to start getting wins.
Momentum.
You want to build momentum, exactly. A lot of this is psychological. And so I personally, unless you have a super high interest credit card, I'd pay off the smallest one first just to get it out of the way. And then prioritize after that, maybe the high interest rate ones, maybe the ones where you have to pay an annual fee and so on if it's credit cards. If it's cars, try not to keep financing cars. Prioritize that debt, but make sure you do it in a way where you're getting small wins.
Okay, so even if it's the smallest one, pay that off first, and then that's gone, and then you can use extra money.
Exactly.
Okay. Number 2, develop a financial plan that includes paying off debt and saving for retirement while you're still working.
Right, so don't stop funding your 401k, especially if there's a match, just to pay off those credit cards. Do both, which means it's going to take some sacrifice in the short term to reward yourself in the long term. But I'm not a big fan of saying, okay, I'm not going to put money into my 401k, I'm going to pay off the debt. Maybe minimize the contribution to the 401k so at least you get the match, because that's free money if there's a match available.
Don't go below that.
But don't go below that.
And once you start having these wins and you have less debt, then you can raise the 401k so you don't get used to just having extra money in your check.
Exactly, and people get in the habit of paying off the debt, so when you get done paying off the debt, take that money and divert it into retirement funds.
Okay. Build and maintain an excellent credit score. Well, if you're doing this, if you're making sure to pay off your debt, you're actually improving your credit.
Yeah, you're improving your credit, and don't let it get out of control again. So sometimes once you pay off debt, you might want to cancel those lines of credit or those credit cards, because the credit rating agencies look at how much total credit you have available to you. They get a little nervous when all of a sudden you have $50,000, $100,000 in credit cards available to you, which isn't hard to do for the average family. So we want to get it under control and then reduce the amount of borrowing that we can do, within reason, of course.
Okay, all right. And retire debt-free with the exception of maybe a mortgage. So you mean get rid of the credit cards and the cars, but it's okay to have your mortgage?
It's okay to have your mortgage in retirement, but the goal for everybody should be get rid of all other debt. Remember, most other debt is on a depreciating asset. You know, a car is a depreciating asset. A mortgage or a home holds its value, maybe it even increases. So it's okay to go into retirement with a mortgage, but try to get rid of all other debt. That's a great goal for everyone.
Okay, so if you have more questions about this and people want to find out, all right, what do I do? I've got this, I've got that. If you have a question for Joel, all you have to do at home is go to bettermoneytv.com, and if someone has a personal question, your team will answer it.
Yeah, we'll answer every single question uniquely. It won't be a cookie cutter answer, so we love to get questions from our viewers.
All right, thank you so much, Joel.
Thanks, Kara.
That's Better Money.